Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to talk about the part 2 of the no contact rule, and it is about what to do and what not to do during the no contact. If you haven't checked out my first post regarding the no contact, please check it out. I leave a link under this post in the description box. So make sure you check out the first part. I talk about how to get your ex back, whether it's your divine masculine, your soulmate, your partner, your husband, whoever you were with, and you're on a break and you would like to have another chance with them, on how to get them back and how to, what are the good and bad. Well, I don't think there is much bad in the no contact. What are the benefits of doing the no contact in order to get your person back? And why it works. So definitely check out that post. In this post, I'm going to talk about what kind of things you can do during the no contact and what you should not do. And also how long you should implement the no contact. Going to the last question first, the period of no contact depends on, like, how long you implement the no contact depends on how badly you broke up. Because you see, after a breakup, there is usually a bitter taste of the final arguments and the fight and the disagreements and the ugliness of the breakup. If it wasn't mutual, well, it wasn't, because you want him back now. Usually there is a bitter taste left in the mouth of the two people. Usually there is sad memories in the beginning, right? So how long you need to go into no contact depends on how bad that bitterness is. If you had a big fight with a lot of insulting each other and a lot of arguments and nastiness, then you have to give a longer amount of time for that bitterness to dissipate and the sweet memories start to kick in, right? Because if you don't give it enough time to the other person and to yourself, the minute you start contact, all these ugliness is gonna resurface and it's gonna break you apart again. And the more you break apart after a breakup, the harder it gets to have that person back into your life. So what we're trying to do here is to basically do it once and do it right, instead of going back and forth and falling into that cycle of never-ending flighty energy where someone keeps coming back and you go back and things fall apart constantly until you get to a point that nothing is fixable anymore, right? So where we're at the point that a breakup happened or somebody asked for a break and two people have fallen apart, this is where you should start the no contact. And how long? It's at least 3 weeks. It's at least 3 weeks before the first contact is initiated. And the secret to no contact is, it's the one thing that you have to commit to if you really want to heal yourself and if you want to attract your person back into your life. If you, for any reason, do not follow the rules, or if you're not disciplined enough to keep the no contact going for at least 3 weeks, every time it's broken, you have to start at day one, right? So just keep that in mind. If you want it to work, you have to do it right. And if you want it to work, you have to do it once. So what to do during the no contact? No contact usually, based on my experience and what I've seen and what I've read online, from other people's experiences, it could be anywhere between a month to 3 months, depending on the circumstances of the relationship, the physical distance, if there is any, and the conditions that was present at the time of breakup. So don't lose hope if your person doesn't contact you by the end of the 3 weeks. Some people do it by the end of the first week. Some people do it at the end of the 2 months. So it depends on how you do it and what you do and what your person is doing. And also it depends on your bond. If somebody broke up with you because they were genuinely not interested in you, it's really difficult to get them back. But if you had a relationship where there was a bond and there was mutual feelings, and things started falling apart because of behavioral issues, not because of emotional lack, then you can fix this bond again and you can mend things again by implementing the no contact. So, what to do during the no contact? The first thing you need to do is grieve. Grieve the loss of your relationship. It's the most important thing that you can do for yourself. Never run away from your feelings, never hide away from sadness. You have to feel it in order to heal it. You have to feel the sadness, you have to cry it out so you can move on from it. If you pile up anger, resentment, sadness, disappointment, loss of hope, and all that inside you, and you never touch it, you never want to go near it in order to feel it, you will not be able to forgive, you will not be able to heal, you will not be able to move on from it. And it all becomes part of that bitter taste that I was talking about. It will stay in your mouth, it will stay in your mind. So in order to start getting into the groove of the no contact and moving on and attracting positive energy into your life and all that, you need to grieve the loss of your relationship. Your relationship was something important to you. It was something beautiful in the beginning, at least. And it's something that you really, dearly wanted. So loss of it is something painful. We all have experienced heartbreak at one point in our life or multiple points in our lives. Whether we caused it to ourselves or whether somebody caused it to us, but it is a painful process to grieve a loss. But make sure you take time out. If you're the kind of person that would like to go to a friend and cry out to them, and if you need sympathy, if you need a shoulder to cry on, do that. But my recommendation is take some time out for yourself and do your grieving on your own. It will help you. It's like a detoxification of negative emotions. And it's like washing your mouth with a mouthwash of all the bitterness that's left in your mouth. The next thing you need to do, so this could take some time. It could take, depending on your situation and how you move on from pain and how you handle pain, or how familiar you are with your feelings. This period of grieving could take some time. It could take days or weeks. It's not like you have to do this first in order to start no contact. No, you start no contact, and at the same time, the first thing that you start feeling is the pain, the pain in your heart, the feeling of lack, the feeling of loss. And it's okay to feel that. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to feel all those emotions, because what you're trying to do is to move on from them, right? So the next thing on my list that I have tried and I recommend you doing is writing a journal. Picking up a journal, or I don't know, if you're not into writing, you can pick up a wall calendar or something that you can document your daily progress. Or you can write down your feelings and emotions that you feel every day, or you can basically have a best friend you can talk to without getting feedback, without getting reactions, without getting stupid guidance, because not everybody in your vicinity, not everybody in your family, not everybody in your friend circle is your best guide after a breakup. People teach their own experiences and sometimes they're not the best things. Sometimes they don't even apply to your situation. So picking up a journal and writing down your daily progress or your emotions at any time that you feel you need to vent, you need to express, that I found very comforting in my own situation. And it's something that I have been doing ever since the very first time I broke up with my masculine. It was such a painful breakup that I couldn't talk to anyone about it. So I just started writing down how I felt. I started, sometimes I would just fall asleep crying on my journal. And it was a hurtful process, but it was definitely a positive to have a documented, like a record of what happened to me. And sometimes I go back to it and I see my progress up to this day. And it helps you be proud of yourself. It shows you how much you've grown later on when you see where you were and where you are now. So pick up a journal or a calendar and start writing. Start writing your goals, your aspirations, where you want to go. What kind of things bothered you about the relationship? Write down anything you want. You can categorize it. You can just write down whatever you feel. You can look into the future. You can look into the past. But if you look into the past, make sure that you're not stuck in it. Make sure that you don't become a hamster in a wheel, going over and over and over, falling into a cycle of reviewing memories, right? Reflect on the past enough to understand what went wrong and what your role was in it and what your partner's role was in it. So, of the other things that you can do in the meantime is, once you're out of your shell, once you start feeling a little more energetic after grieving, and you have to get there, because you can't stay in bed crying for 3 weeks. That is not the way to go about life. Life goes on outside of your room. It goes on outside of your relationship, and your relationship should not ever be your entire life. It should never be your entire world. You were a person, an individual, before you met your person. You had a life before you met them. You had your friends, you had your career, you had your goals before you met them. At some point, you probably dumped all your dreams and goals onto them, and you saw them as the dream person of your life. And that's where things start going south, because not anyone out there other than you yourself is responsible for making you happy. So try to pick up some physical activity. That will boost energy, it will boost confidence, it will become a goal. If you need to lose weight, if you need to become fit, if you need to work on your shape, if you need set up a goal for yourself. Like every day I need to do half an hour yoga, for example, or every day I'm gonna go and walk my dog an extra half hour. Just have, the point of this no contact is to bring you back from a cloudy, up in the air situation of a breakup into a more disciplined life. And as much as discipline item number one is keeping the no contact intact, like not breaking it basically, the other things that you have to follow during the no contact also make you a more disciplined person, makes you more goal oriented, makes you more confident. Because confidence is the most attractive thing about a person. Women that are confident are more attractive, and as women we like men that are more confident, they're more powerful, they have something to present, they're not afraid, they're not cowards, they're not runaway little boys, right? So confidence is the number one thing that you have to improve in yourself. Because after a breakup, if you were left by someone, chances are your confidence levels are very low. You probably have lost self-worth, you are questioning your values, you have no confidence that you can ever attract love. And these things they happen to everybody after a breakup. You're not alone. You're not the only one that feels like that. So aim one is to keep the no contact working. Aim two is to have a diary, have a journal where you can vent your emotions or document your experiences each day. And aim three is to boost your confidence. You can boost your confidence through physical activities. It's like jogging, exercise, yoga. You can walk your dog if you have one. You can have a disciplined program for your kids if you have any. And if you go to the gym, exercising in gym can also enhance your social life. You can interact with other people. You can find people with the same mindset. Simplest of which could be, oh, I'm going to, I don't know, lose 5 pounds, or I'm going to work on my muscles, or I'm going to work on my weight or shape or whatever. You find someone that is similar to you in at least one aspect. And that will give you something to look forward to, right? I know these things are easier said than done, but trust me, I have been in your shoes and I have had days that I hated my life trying to get out of bed and do anything. But if you don't, you will just keep falling into the depths of negativity and you will never be able to move on. You will never find yourself back, and you will never be able to attract not just your ex, but you won't be able to attract anyone decent or good for you back into your life. So the next item on my to-do list is to socialize. So once you're ready to see other people, once you're ready to see people that are not going to ask you about your relationship, they're not going to ask you about your ex, they're not going to remind you of the past, then you can socialize. Even if you meet people that are going to ask you whereabouts he is, you can simply explain that you're separated and you're trying to work on yourself. You rather not disclose personal information about your personal life, and finish it at that. Do not vent to people as you're climbing up the positive ladder, because feedbacks could be triggering and you may not be ready, and it would just throw you back into step one, right? So you have to basically protect your energy as you socialize. You have to protect your personal experiences as you socialize. So be careful with who you go out with and who you hang out with. Stick with the people that make you feel better. They boost your confidence. They make you feel beautiful. They make you feel powerful. Stay away from people that blame you for your breakup, people that think you didn't do enough for your relationship, people that ask you all sorts of personal questions about it, people that are giving you 10 different recommendations on how you should go about your life. Even people that might look like they're so compassionate by saying, oh, like, I'm so sorry for you. How are your kids doing? Or how are you going about your life now that such and such is gone? And, stay away from anybody and anything that reminds you of what happened. Try to attract positive energy into your life and try to hang out with people that you can be yourself with, and they are only looking at you as you, not as half of the relationship you had. The next item on my list is to pick a hobby. Picking a hobby helps enhance your discipline again. And it also helps you vent in a creative way. You can join a sports team. You can pick up painting. You can pick up crafts. I don't know. It could be as simple as watching a series if you're busy with other things during your day. But pick up something that shifts your mind from your relationship into something that you enjoy doing. It's about finding something that makes you happy. But at the same time, doing a hobby is not about distracting yourself. Because you see, when you distract yourself, it's like socializing. When you're going out with other people, you may not think about your relationship when you're with them, but once you come home or once you're alone, you start thinking about it again. You start thinking about him, you start thinking about all the things that happened, and it doesn't work like that. Distraction doesn't help your energy shift. Distraction doesn't help you move on. Distraction is only like a band-aid on a wound. A wound, like a breakup, like a heartbreak, it needs healing. It needs a medicine. It needs cure. And the cure for that is to shift your energy. It's to find a replacement for the void that you feel in your chest. And the best thing to do in that matter is to find something that you genuinely, truly enjoy doing. I don't know, you could have had goals before you met your person. You could have always wanted to try learning piano, let's say, or you may have always wanted to practice salsa, or there was a beautiful picture that you always wanted to draw. Anything that you wanted to have or that you can think of that would be a project, and the result of it would make you feel proud and it would make you happy. In the meantime that you're doing all this, you will be triggered. Things might come up, memories might come up. You might hear songs that remind you of your person. You might go to places that you wish that they were there with you. And all these things that come up during the no contact would only help you heal your wounds. It will help you understand that you are also a person without your guy. And it also helps you reflect on the toxic behaviors in the relationship. So don't run away from touching the dirt. The dirt is there to be cleaned, right? If you I don't know, broom all the dirt under the rug, yeah, you don't see it. It looks clean, but the dirt is there. And you can't lie to yourself when you are trying to heal. You have to look at it, touch it, and take it out in order to really, truly clean your soul, clean your mind, clean your emotions, and become ready for a healthier relationship. The famous saying of change starts within yourself is a fact. Without changing yourself and your own outlook and how you feel about life and how you feel about yourself and how you feel about your relationships, you cannot change anything in your life. It all starts with you and within you. So check out also my post about toxic femininity. In there I talk about toxic behaviors in low value women that leads the relationship to failure. And at some point in our life, if we are raised in families that did not boost our confidence and did not value our gifts, we are raised with some toxicity. All of us have some toxicity in us. It's just how much of it do we know? How much of it do we acknowledge? and how much of it do we heal in order to have a healthier connection with other people around us. And it's just not about just a romantic relationship. It's about how we interact with people around us without having toxic behavior. I will leave a link in the description box for that video also. So check that out, please. So the next item is, no matter who broke up the relationship, exes start talking on each other after a breakup. Everybody is curious how their ex is doing when they're not in their life. The no contact, when we're saying no contact, it means no stalking either. So if you get to a point that you're strong enough that you know you will not spy on your ex, you're not going to stalk their social media, and you're not going to ask around other people about them, you can take advantage of a subliminal stimulus, which is your social media or your online activity, to attract your ex back. And by that I mean, if your ex is reminded of you constantly, they will have no other way than to think about you. And once they start thinking about you and you're on the top of their mind, they start missing you. They start seeing the effects of your absence in their life, and they start wondering, right? This is very tricky though. In the list that I'm going to talk about what not to do, I am going to explain what sort of things you should not post and what sort of things you can post. Actually, I'm going to do it right now. Once you're on the second or third week into your no contact period, you start feeling more confident. You start doing more. You're socializing. You're picking up a hobby. You're dancing. You're singing. You're painting. You're doing something with your life that you can post about. This is not posting racy pictures with other guys. This is not trying to make your ex jealous in order to make them want to come back. This is not about partying and posting pictures of you drinking in bars and clubs. Please stay away from that, because that only shows how desperate you are, and it only makes your person even more certain that they made the right decision to move on from you, because nobody is attracted to basically to a slut, right? So you don't want to portray that kind of image online. You also don't want to post negative comments. You don't want to post negative status updates. You don't want to share anything that directly reminds them of you. You don't want to mention their name. You don't want to mention a song that you might have had together. You don't want to basically, you don't want to touch them. You want to present yourself, right, in a positive way, in a healthy way, in a high value way. And that is sharing subtle hints about where your life is going. Like, you can post a picture of you with your salsa friends, and they could be girlfriends. That's even more attractive. In a dancing outfit, or you can post a picture of your latest painting online, or you can ask people for the address of a piano instructor that you can check out. Like, be subtle, but also, if you're sure that your person checks you out, if you haven't blocked them out of rage, and you just know that they are spying on you, then try to leave a trace of what you're up to, and how you're moving on, slowly moving on from them into your life, and that you're having a healthy time, not necessarily a good time partying, but a healthy time. How your mind is not occupied with them all the time, how you're focusing on something else, how you're busy. I remember when my DM, when my masculine messaged me the first time after a long period of no contact, I think it was months. The first thing he said to me was, "You seem so busy." And to me, that was like, bingo, mission accomplished. You seem so busy. And he said it in a complaining way. And to me, that was like the best reward I had got out of the going through all the pain of those 3 months, 2 3 months. That yes, he sees it. He's seeing that I have better things to do than just sitting in a little corner and crying about him, right? Because that is what the majority of guys think you were doing, especially if you were a needy, clingy person at the breakup. If you begged them to come back, which I did. If you acted low value and desperate, or if you were so in love that you feared the loss of your relationship, so you tried everything that you thought was going to keep them from leaving you, right? But the best thing that you can show your person is life continues without them, and that you are still a strong, powerful, confident woman without them, and that they should wish to have you in their life. They should work their way back into your life. It's basically this whole period of no contact has one purpose. It's to show you first and them that you are a valuable person, and that you are an independent individual, powerful enough to carry a healthy life without the influence of another person. The trick to no contact, however, as much as we're saying how to get your person back, the trick for it to really truly work is that you focus on moving on. If you have to do this with no expectation of getting your ex back. Yes, it's like counter-effective. It's like an oxymoron. It's I want to get my ex back, that's why I'm doing this. But at the same time, if you are waiting for your ex back, you will not be able to work out a healthy relationship at the end, even if they do come back. Your focus have to be on yourself, how to improve your life, how to move on from the pain and the loss of a relationship, and how to move on from him. He should not be, by the end of the first month or second month, he should not be in the first, second, third, 10th priority in your head. You should have, if you have done everything right by then, you should have a clear mind of where you want to be, and you and your life should be the focus of you, your children if you have any, your family if they need your help. Your person should not be anywhere in your thoughts, and that's the only time that this starts working. Because you see, love and attention and attraction is energy. If you obsess about your person and wait for them to come back, and everything that you do during the no contact is just an act of, oh, I'm just going to do this in order to get them back, and let's see what happens, then it's not genuine. And when it's not genuine, your person receives that energy from you, especially if you're in a twin flame journey where there is a lot of telepathy and there is a lot of energy exchange, and you don't necessarily need to be physically present to hear your person. They hear you all the time. But even if you're not in a spiritual connection, people start feeling your absence when you're really absent, when your mind is off of them, because then you're not bombarding them with that energy, with the desperation of getting them back. And that's the only time that your person starts thinking about you. That's the only time that they start missing your energy. They start missing your presence, missing your vibes, missing the happiness that they experienced with you. And that's when they start thinking about the relationship, and that's when they start thinking about reaching out. So I'm going to, I have a few items on what not to do during the no contact. First of which is, do not stalk your person. I just talked about that. Do not go to their social media and stalk them. Do not watch who's liking their posts and who's leaving comments. Do not go to their place and see who's coming and who's going. Do not reach out to their friends asking about your person and asking about how they're doing. And definitely do not show up to the spots where you used to see them, or to the places that you think they might be at. You do not want to be in contact with your person during this time. And if you can manage to stick to this one rule, you will be successful at the end of the no contact period. So as much as you want to attract them to your social media, as much as you want you to be on top of their list, you don't want to go and look for information, because that just means they are on top of your list, right? The point of this no contact, you could just look at it as a shift of power. When someone breaks up a relationship, the ball is in their court. They have the power. They have the control over the relationship and the other person. If you were dumped, if you were left, if you were asked for a break, and if somebody just walked all over you, broke your heart, broke your spirit, and lowered your confidence, and they just walk off, they have the power over you. The purpose of the no contact is for you to get back your power from them. It's for you to shift the control from their side to your side. And the first thing that you need to do is to stop focusing on them. Once you stop focusing on your person, you already took half of the control out of their hand, and you put it back on yourself. You put the focus on yourself, so you have control over yourself and over your time and over your energy and over your attention. Always remember, ladies, your love, your affection, and your attention is valuable. It's the most valuable thing you can give to your person. Everything else that comes after are the results of your affection and love. So if you value yourself, if you value what you have to offer, you automatically send the signal to your person or to anybody around you that they have to respect that. They have to respect your values, they have to respect your boundaries, but that never comes until you respect yourself, until you see your own values. A little bit of your attention should be like a drop of diamond. Like a little bit of your attention, a little bit of just for you to turn your head and look over your shoulder and see what your person is doing. That should be like a high carat diamond. You should not give that away for free. You have to value yourself enough to really think of what you're giving away, and that includes the tiniest bit of attention to someone who has walked all over you, to someone who has hurt you, to someone who has caused heartbreak for you, or messed up your life and left your children if you had kids together, and all that, right? The next thing to definitely not do is to pick up their calls. So let's say you are strong enough, and well, let's hope that's the point, is that you're strong enough to not reach out to your person. Depending on your person's character, there could be different reasons why they might call you. I will cover why your person might call you, when they call you, and what to do if they do reach out. during the no contact, during that time set that you put for yourself, and what to do if they do that, what to do if you break the no contact and answer them, and how things go from there. I will cover that in part 3 of the no contact rule when I do that on Saturday. So check back for that. But here I'm just going to talk about you putting in the beginning of this, you will tell yourself, I'm going to ignore my person for a month, for 3 weeks, a month, however long you want, maybe 2 months. Do not go be less than 3 weeks. It will not work. You need at least 3 weeks to move on from the pain, the bitterness, and for this thing to work. So I'd say a healthy amount of time is a month, and that's the least amount of time. If your person calls you during the no contact, during that first 1 month, do not pick up their calls. If they message you, do not text back. Also, do not block your person. If you can avoid texting them or calling them, if you can avoid reaching out, do not block them, because them trying to reach out to you will boost your confidence, and you ignoring them will show you how powerful you are in the beginning, right? Do not answer calls or texts, especially if it's happening early on. A person that reaches out to you a few days after a breakup is not reaching out to fix anything. They're not reaching out to talk things through. They're not reaching out to mend anything. They're probably not even reaching out to say sorry or to apologize, right? They are the only reason, the major reason why men reach out after a breakup, especially early on after a breakup, within the first few days to a week, is to just check out on you and see how sad you are. They're only doing this to boost their ego. They're only doing this to brush their ego and feel good about themselves and feel how powerful they are and feel like the winner. Because that's how guys look at an argument. They look at fights and arguments and disagreements as a game, and they want to win it no matter what, right? So they will reach out to see if they won. And how do they win? If you're still crying, if you're still sad, if you're begging them to come back, if you're picking up their calls and falling into their trap, if you're, the minute they call you, you pick up right away, you don't even let it be missed, and you make it look like you were sitting by your phone all day long waiting for their call and just scrolling down up down their names and their old texts, basically looking desperate. If you do that, you have to, no matter how far into your no contact period you are, you have to go back to day one. So don't even bother. If they call you, do not pick up the call. Let it be missed. If they really, really, truly want to tell you something important, which I really doubt it never happens. Unless somebody dies somewhere or somebody had an accident or what that you need to know about, they will leave you a message. Then you can listen to the voicemail and decide how urgent this is. But still, do not fall into the trap, because guys do anything to get what they want, which is a boost of their ego. Do not reward their negativity by giving them attention, right? If they text you, hi, I just wanted to see how you're doing, or how have you been? And it's just what, like a week? I just wanted to see if you were doing such and such, if you're working together, or if you live in the same neighborhood, or if you have mutual friends. They might just find an excuse to reach out to you. My masculine and I had similar careers, so he would make excuses of like work excuses, and he would contact me during work hours to make it look legit. And in the beginning, I would fall into the trap every time. I would help him out. I would give him guidance. I would send him through the channels that would solve his so-called problems, until later on I found out, okay, he's not really having any of these problems, are not really problems. He's just trying to talk to me. He's just trying to move on in a peaceful way. Because that's another very big item. Your guy will try to keep contact. Some of the guys will try to keep contact with you because they don't want the pain of the separation. They want to have you in their energy field, but at the same time, they don't want you back. So they want, instead of like a sharp cutoff and losing you altogether, they want to slowly, slowly, slowly move away from you. So while you might be thinking that your person is just talking to you because they are interested, or because they want to come back, or because they're thinking of fixing anything, that is not the case. That's what you think. They are moving on in the background. They might even start dating a rebound. They might fall into temptations of sleeping around. They might do whatever they want, and they might portray to you that, oh, we're still talking. But still talking is not what you had before, right? Before the breakup, you had a relationship. Before the breakup, you had a dating scenario. Before the breakup, you had a marriage. You were not just talking, and you were not just friends. So, in order to get what you want out of this scenario is to stop giving him what he wants. If you keep giving him what he wants, the only thing he does is he takes it and he runs with it. A breakup is a very tricky point. It's not the peak of a loving relationship where giving and receiving is equal, where your love and affection is reciprocated, where you are respected, where everything is peachy and rosy. A breakup is a point of, it's like a war, and guys look at it as winning or losing. So in order to win your relationship back, in order to win your guy back, you have to be strong, and you have to be determined, and you have to put your foot down. And the best way to show your person that you're putting your foot down is to just show them that you respect their decision, basically, right? They decided to move on from you. They decided to break up the relationship, and you're just a very classy, high value woman respecting what they wished. So you wanted to go, please, by all means. I don't want anyone that doesn't want to be in my life. Of course, you don't have to tell them this, but you can show this by your actions of ignoring what they're trying to throw at you. They might text you, they might like your pictures, the same pictures that I was talking about. They might show reaction, but trust me, until a guy reaches out and says, we need to talk about the relationship, I would like to discuss, or I'm sorry about what happened between us, can we talk? That's the only time that you can listen. And that will not happen within the first 3 weeks or a month. A guy, unless they are desperate or low value, they will try to stick with their decision of moving on from you. And they might just throw, I don't know, traps here and there just to catch you every time and boost their ego. So stay away from all kinds of reaching out and all kinds of contact, and do not fall into their trap. Because every time you do, you just have to go through the painful process of no contact again from step 0. So the other thing that you must not do is do not wait for him. Do not wait for their calls. Do not wait for them to reach out. If you pick up your phone every single day, looking at your missed calls, hoping that there was a call from him, or looking at a text message, or just going to places where they might have shown up and wait for them, don't have basically expectations of them reaching out to you. Just try to think of yourself as who you were before you met this person. Try to think of them as not existing in your life. Because the waiting energy is a desperate energy. Waiting energy is a low vibrational energy. It is the energy of expectation, the energy of stagnation, and you don't want to be there. You want to boost your life. You want to improve your life. So do not wait for your person. And the last point that I have here, I already covered, was do not post racy pictures of yourself on social media. Do not jump into rebound relationships just to start feeling better. Not right away, at least. Do not try to make your ex jealous. Do not try to show them that you're still attractive and there are other people after you. You want to show them that you're attractive by showing them how powerful you are and how confident you are and how independent you are. You don't want to. Attraction doesn't come through competition when there was a breakup. Your person already decided that they didn't want you, right? So be it. Somebody else can have you. Attraction through competition works when when a person is pursuing, in a pursuit mode. So save all that for later on when your person is coming back towards you, and then you can start spreading the eggs in different baskets, and you can keep your options open, which I talk about in part 3 of that. And when you can start dating again, and how dating can affect this process of no contact, and how it can affect getting your ex back, and all the positive and negative of all that. So yeah, don't forget to check out part 1 of the no contact, and also check out the toxic femininity post that I posted before. And keep in touch. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Follow me on Instagram. I will start posting live videos over there. It's easier for me to just go live on Instagram. Posting a video on YouTube will take a lot of time, and I don't have much time to sit around waiting for a 1-hour video to post. So if you want a face-to-face interaction with me, follow me on Instagram. I leave my ID down below, but it's xxaqualuna xx. And you can see my daily post there, and I post about different types of things, arts, motivational posts, and we can interact there. We can talk. Subscribe to my channel, please, if you haven't done so already, and like the post if you did, and share it with anybody who you think might need to hear this out. And stay safe, stay inside. We are still in quarantine here in North America, and I wish you and your family a happy, safe time. Take care.